Hi everyone, and welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be looking at an altcoin, and it is XLM, Stellar Lumens. And with Stellar Lumens we have a very particular setup that I'd like to show you. Some very long lasting trend lines that are about to come into play, some key Fibonacci retracements, and some really higher time frame monthly analysis of the support and resistance, because in my opinion now for XLM and a lot of altcoins we are coming up to a zone and a time where we need to pay particular attention, especially if Bitcoin gets the retrace that we are anticipating. So let's just jump into Stellar Lumens now, and we can get a better idea of what I'm looking at and how I am seeing the bigger picture here. Now, the first key notable zone that I'm going to point out for XLM is this little zone here that we used as resistance for quite a while when the market makers was obviously building longs down here, and then flipped the resistance into support and then went on the massive retrace of this big bullish move up here. So that is probably the most key level that we've got on this chart at the minute, because you can see here initial test, break down, break back above, support resistance, and now we are coming back into that zone again. So that obviously is probably the most key zone that we need to have marked out on XLM at the minute, because really if this is going to hold the support and we are going to expect a bit of a retrace in the market, then this is going to be the point as to which the market is going to probably do that from. And as you can see, we are at around 7 cents now, and that is just 5-6 cents. So the risk to reward at the minute in XLM is becoming very much in the buyer's favour, in my opinion. So the next thing that I'm going to do for XLM is just outline this long-lasting trend line that we've had in place since 2017 really. You can see here that's when we broke out, backtest and backtest again in 2020 in that bear market, and we've used this long-lasting trend line as support for many years. And you can see that trend line is coinciding now with the zone that we had marked out earlier. So you can see this zone of XLM that it's coming up to, really key zone. So we can't argue that this long-lasting trend line is important, but again, what do we need to do in anticipation of a bit of manipulation from the market makers? What I'm going to do again also is take it to the bottom of that wick. Now we also have a manipulation zone on XLM. So let's say on the next monthly time frame we come down into that demand zone that we want to see hold as support, but markets are very prone, especially crypto, to manipulation. So a drop below next month could coincide with a price of around 5 cents for XLM, a bit of manipulation and close back above, and that would be a really strong sign. But the upper trend line would be at around 6 cents. So really, when we are taking into consideration risk to reward, the price of XLM right now down to these prices around 25%. So as an investor, if you are willing to risk a drawdown of around 25% in anticipation for a much bigger move to the upside that could be coming in the new year, I think the risk to reward at the minute is very nice. So for XLM here, I am going to stick to the monthly time frame because we don't really want to be messing around with daily and weekly candles on the altcoins really too much. The monthly time frame gives us a lot better clarity. And as you can see in the last cycle here, XLM, the way to spot if we was about to come and have a move to the upside was using the candle bodies on the monthly time frame. And you can see here, candle body to candle body, we ended up riding this trend line to the downside for three or four months and then getting a move to the upside. And I think that coincides now with a similar thing that's happening this year. If you take candle body to candle body, you can see there how the trend line is broken to the downside, just like we had back here. And what we could maybe expect is once we get to this demand zone, like we got back here with XLM, it looks like a short move, but that's 130%. So let's say we came down into that demand zone and got a move of around 130% from around 6 cents back to around 14 cents. Would that make sense? And I think it would. And I'm not saying that would be the bottom of the bearish times for XLM, because we could continue like we did back here in the bear market with a lot more messing about. But being able to capitalize on these moves in the short term is massive, because then we can take our investment out, take profit and buy back lower in anticipation of a much bigger move in the future of crypto. And I think that is the aim of the game at the minute. So really good signs for XLM coming up right now. So let's just mark that zone out there, for example, for XLM around 14 cents, and we'll get that off the screen. What other confluence do we have on the altcoin and crypto and XLM market right now that we can use from the past in anticipation of this move coming up? So really, if we take the last swing high of this breakdown of the XLM chart back in 2018 to the low, there you can see the move came back up to around the 38.2 and the 50% retracement mark. So if we do the same here from this swing high to an anticipated swing low down here, look at where that line for XLM at 14 cents lines up there, right around the 38 and the 50% retracement mark. So things are really lining up now for XLM to push down into this demand zone and get that 130% move to the upside. And one last bit of confluence, really bit of key confluence that I spotted here for XLM is if we just draw this trend line from this wick down here to this wick here that you can see has been support and then turned resistance. Would it make enough sense to come down into the demand zone and then test this line as resistance once again? And I think it would, and that lines up for a really nice 2023 in the cryptocurrency altcoin market. And now if you are just anticipating a retrace to the upside from a demand zone, I think the risk to reward right now is really brilliant. And as you can see, if we just have a look at how far the last cycle of XLM came down, all in all was around 97%. But to the first notable bottom right here before a key retrace was around 92%. So if I just get that off the screen and we compare that to what we have coming on this year, if we want to see around a 92% drawdown before then a nice retrace to the upside, look at where that lines up, around 6 cents for XLM to then get a nice 130 to 150% move back to around the 14 cent zone. So this is the way that I am anticipating these moves to the upside and downside for altcoins and XLM in particular here. So again, it's not financial advice, guys, you know that, I know that, but it's just a bit of market analysis, and I hope this has been quite useful. If it has been useful, let me know in the comments, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and once again I will see you next time. Cheers.